Fortunately, guys, he has lost ESPN and he has lost his $100 million podcast deal. All over some Badusi.
Say what? Katt Williams is calling out Kevin Hart's little self for allegedly throwing Shannon Sharpe under the bus just to get him canceled. And guess what? Katt's saying this whole drama with Shannon might have been a setup from the jump, and he's stepping forward with some wild accusations and receipts to back it all up. We already know Katt can't stand Kevin, but this new tea is straight up explosive. Remember that viral 2024 interview Katt did with Shannon? He didn't hold back, and clearly, Kevin didn't forget either. Now Katt's claiming Kevin's been lurking behind the scenes, teaming up with big-name industry execs to take Shannon down from the inside. But wait, it gets even crazier. The woman suing Shannon, Gabriela Zuniga, apparently comes from a plugged-in family with serious industry connections. Katt's saying she didn't just appear out of nowhere. She was sent in to trap Shannon by using his known attraction to younger women, something he's admitted on air more than once. And now, they've got him exactly where they want him. But this ain't the first time Katt's come for Kevin over being a straight-up sellout. He's been on his case ever since Kevin hit that SNL stage rocking a lace front and a dress after swearing to the world he'd never do that just to make it in Hollywood. Katt, and plenty of others, saw that as Kevin selling his soul for a bigger spotlight. People were already side-eyeing Kevin when that whole conversation kicked off around wearing dresses in comedy. It started with Dave Chappelle, who told Oprah that he was pushed to wear a dress for a role with Martin Lawrence. And when he said no, boom, producers suddenly had a brand new script ready. That said everything. So when Kevin flipped and went along with it, folks like Katt felt major lines were crossed.
I'm a conspiracy theorist to a degree. Like when I connect dots that maybe shouldn't be connected, I don't know. But certain dots, like when I see that they put every black man in the movies in a dress at some point in their career, I'll be connecting them down like, wow, all these brothers gotta wear a dress. That's happened to me. I'm doing a movie with Martin.
Yeah.
The movie's going good. So I walk in a trailer. I'm like, man, this must be the wrong trailer because there's a dress in here.
They saw it as Kevin choosing fame over principles. And now, with everything going down around Shannon, it's looking like those same shady industry games are back in motion. Who's really behind Shannon's fall? Katt swears he knows it. Soon enough, people, and even other celebs, were being asked to speak on what Dave Chappelle said. One of them, Kevin Hart. At the time, Kevin stood firm, saying he'd never wear a dress for a role. But not long after that bold claim, boom, he popped up on SNL in a full skit, rocking a dress and a wig like it was no big deal.
The new pope is not Turkson. The new pope is 9-year-old Oscar nominee, Kevin Wallace.
Wow. Let's be clear, Kevin wasn't some broke, up-and-coming actor begging for a break. He had a name, but he still hadn't hit that mega fame level he was clearly chasing.
Definitely haven't ran into to put on the dress. I mean, you know, you have to have boundaries. You have to have limits that you refuse to cross. You know, for me, I know what they are. They've yet to been challenged, so you know I don't have to speak on them. I was asked to dribble a basketball on a talk show this morning.
You look good doing
it. Not that was a dress, but I was like, no, I'm gonna look stupid. You know, at the end of the day, you got to know that you're a brand. Yeah. I'm a brand. You need to protect your brand at all times. When things happen that can possibly affect your brand, your brand can be diminished, and you don't want that to happen.
So when that SNL door opened, he walked right through it, lace front and all. That skit wasn't just for laughs. It looked like a calculated move to level up his status. And when folks started calling him out, Kevin got defensive fast. He jumped on Twitter saying, "I wore a dress on SNL because I thought it was funny. I made that decision. Nobody made it for me. I am my own boss." But Katt Williams, he wasn't buying any of it. When Katt was asked later, he let it rip. Flat out called Kevin a sellout. He said he didn't totally blame him, but made it clear Kevin was just another example of a long, twisted Hollywood pattern. One where black men are pushed into dresses like it's some kind of bizarre rite of passage. In Katt's eyes, Kevin didn't just throw on that dress for laughs, he did it because the industry told him to. Katt believed Kevin didn't make that call for himself. He just followed orders to climb higher. But here's the real twist. Katt wasn't only mad because Kevin broke his word, there was something deeper going on. According to Katt, the industry had a bigger plan. Push him out and slide Kevin in as the new favorite. And Kevin, he was the perfect pick, always ready to play along, even if it meant going against everything he claimed to stand for. That's exactly the kind of player Hollywood loves. Quiet, obedient, and easy to mold. Meanwhile, Katt was the total opposite. Loud, bold, and never afraid to call out the system. That made him a problem, a real threat. So once Kevin started rising up, the machine went to work, dragging Katt down by spreading wild stories, painting him as a loose cannon and a so-called crackhead.
You're a sucker. The reason I don't do Big Tigger is because I had a tumor in my upper jaw and they had to take it out and they had to block the whole right of my sinus with a piece of metal. So ever since I got out the Marine Corps, I can only breathe out of one nostril, boy. I get my blood tested every 3 months for the last 15 years. All narcotic tests have come up 0.00%.
Just to wreck his image and make room for Kevin's clean-cut takeover. And it didn't stop there. Once the smear campaign on Katt kicked off, the media ran with it fast. Every time Katt had a public meltdown or caught a charge, headlines exploded like clockwork. Late-night shows were cracking jokes, blogs were dragging him, and suddenly, Katt's name was more tied to chaos than comedy. Meanwhile, Kevin, he was getting movie deals, endorsements, sold-out shows, the whole Hollywood Golden Boy package. And Katt, he was left fighting to clear his name while watching someone he considered fake climb off the very ladder they pushed him off. Katt said it before, they didn't just want me gone, they wanted me forgotten. And to him, Kevin played a major role in that erasure. He believes Kevin didn't just benefit from the system, he helped it by staying quiet, playing nice, and letting the narrative run. Katt's been holding on to this for years, and now he's unloading every single receipt. And what's wild, he's not just pointing fingers at Kevin, he's calling out the whole machine behind him. Agents, producers, networks. Katt says they all played a part in building Kevin up while tearing him down.
Kevin doesn't have to worry about what people are going to say about him wearing a dress because of the long line of dress-wearing people before him. So now we had Big Mama's house 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
I've never seen Medea in a pantsuit. I think she wears dresses. So now I'm saying, why are we picking on poor little Kevin Hart? Because it was his turn next.
He's been saying it loud. You can't call it success if it came from silence and betrayal. According to Katt, Kevin's rise wasn't just about talent, it was about being the industry's puppet, while real ones like him got pushed to the curb for speaking truth. And now with this Shannon Sharpe mess unfolding, Katt's not keeping quiet. He says it's the same exact playbook all over again. Find someone the public loves, set them up with controversy, and handpick their replacement behind the scenes. In Katt's eyes, Kevin's not just part of the pattern, he is the pattern. Now here's where things really start to shake. Katt's throwing names around like grenades. In his recent rants, he hinted that certain Hollywood power players didn't just tolerate Kevin's rise, they orchestrated it. According to Katt, some of the same execs who iced him out were the ones fast-tracking Kevin's career behind closed doors. He's even said that roles, stand-up specials, and major deals were being handed to Kevin before scripts were even finished. Like, they weren't just betting on him, they were building him, all while making sure Katt stayed caught up in scandals, false headlines, and legal traps that drained his focus and burned his brand. And Katt claims it's not random, it's strategic.
Black comedians that I know personally that I put on tour who have a hard time getting a chicken sandwich from Chick-fil-A after they headline 7 shows at a club for $2,500 a week.
But people like real, and that's why
is
they
that
like
what
her.
they like?
They love realness.
Oh, because everybody's real then. So don't trip.
No.
Is they so ghetto? When did that become marketable? Knock it off. They like her because she want to sleep with a white man. That's why the only thing she said was, I want to give it to Brad Pitt.
Keep the loud ones in court and the quiet ones on stage. That's how he sees it. A silent exchange. Take the spotlight, but shut up about the truth. He's not just exposing Kevin for personal beef. He's pulling the curtain back on how the industry plays chess with people's lives. And now that Katt's connected all these dots, people are starting to wake up. Fans who once brushed him off as just loud or bitter are circling back like, wait a minute, was he telling the truth this whole time? Because now, with Shannon Sharpe getting hit with drama out of nowhere, it's starting to look way too familiar. Katt's been saying for years that the industry moves in patterns, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. First they hype you up, then they find your weakness, and just like that, you're the next headline. And if you got someone they're grooming behind the scenes, boom, you're replaced overnight. He even said, they don't destroy you when you're failing. They come for you when you're winning the wrong way. That hit hard. According to Katt, Shannon was rising on his own terms, unfiltered, respected, and real. And that's exactly what made him a target. And Katt's not holding anything back now. He's naming situations, dropping hints, and making it real clear that what happened to him wasn't just bad luck. It was a blueprint. He says Hollywood doesn't just ruin careers, it recycles them.
Tiffany was only seen at the Laugh Factory. In 15 years in Hollywood, no one in Hollywood has a memory of going to a sold-out Kevin Hart show, there being a line for him ever getting a standing ovation at any comedy club. He already had his deals when he got here. Have we heard of a comedian that came to L.A. and in his first year in L.A. he had his own sitcom on network television and had his own movie called Soul Plane that he was leading? No, we've never heard of that before that person or since that person. What do you think a plant is?
One man's downfall is another man's breakout. And in Shannon's case, Katt swears it's the same script, different actor. A respected black man, loved by the culture, gaining power on his own terms, and suddenly a scandal pops up out of nowhere with just enough dirt to slow him down, but not enough to fully take him out. Why? So the public stays confused while they prep the next golden boy. Katt believes this whole accusation against Shannon ain't organic. He says it's staged and perfectly timed, especially with Gabriela Zuniga being tied to powerful circles. Katt claims it's not about justice, it's about distraction. Get the spotlight off Shannon while they quietly push in someone else to take his spot. Now Katt's flipping the spotlight back on the audience. Yeah, he's talking to the fans too. He's saying part of the reason these setups even work is because folks are too quick to cancel and too slow to question. The moment someone's name hits the blogs, everybody's in the comments like, he fell off, or knew it was coming, without asking why it's happening now. Katt's calling it what it is, manipulation. He says the industry counts on people reacting, not thinking. They drop a scandal, feed it to the media, and boom, public opinion gets flipped overnight. And if that person's a little too real or hard to control, even better, easier to paint him as the villain. He's warning this isn't just about Shannon or even about him versus Kevin anymore. It's about who's next. He's saying this system stays running because people eat up the drama without questioning who cooked it up in the first place. And now Katt's raising an even bigger question. Who really benefits when powerful black voices get silenced? Because every time someone speaks out, calls out the system, or builds something that can't be controlled, it's like clockwork. Here comes the drama, the scandals, the mental breakdown headlines. Katt says it's not just about control, it's about ownership. They don't want you owning your voice, your platform, or your story. The moment you stop being their product and start being your own brand, that's when they come swinging. He even hinted that a few top names in the industry know what's going on.
And this is why when I walk in a room, heads go down. Behind my back, I'm nothing. I'm just a regular old comedian that's bitter and jealous. But in my face, no, no, no. The king has walked in and they have to respect it only because I've not taken the shortcuts. I've not been funded. They pay you to not talk about things they don't want you to talk about. They tell you that themselves.
But stay silent to protect their bags. Katt's like, how are you successful but can't speak on nothing real? He's tired of the silence, tired of the fake smiles, and tired of watching people get destroyed while the insiders just sit back and collect checks. They blackballed Katt so hard, the man stopped getting roles entirely. Hollywood straight up shut the door on him. No scripts, no shows, no deals. He was forced to fade out of the spotlight like they wanted him gone for good. But in 2018, Katt came back swinging. And when he returned, he didn't waste time. He came straight for Kevin's neck. He was ready to expose him for the fraud he always believed Kevin really was. And here's the twist. Katt never even said Kevin's name in that interview, but Kevin still caught feelings. Cause like the old saying goes, a hit dog will holler. And baby, Kevin was howling. He laughed it off in public, but everyone saw through it. That nervous energy, the tweets, the shade, it was clear he felt exposed. So now the truth is out, the curtain's lifted, and all that's left is for you to weigh in. Do you believe Katt? Is Hollywood really running a game this deep? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share if you're feeling this breakdown. Drop your thoughts below. This one's far from over.